What is up, YouTube? Fanta here, and I just kind of wanted to weigh in this whole GameStop line to customer situation. And it's kind of weird that Kotaku is actually doing an article on this now, since this has been happening since I worked there like 2 years ago. And I worked there for 4 years, and a lot of this kind of stuff has actually been in effect for that entire period that I worked there. Especially the Circle of Life thing that they're claiming is new. Now, it looks like there is a new kind of side to it. It looks like that's kind of the main focus now, and you have to get like percentages of the Circle of Life. I'm not really sure what's going on there, what they're saying in the article, but I'll break down what I did and what the Circle of Life is if you guys don't know and you haven't read the article. So the Circle of Life is kind of how GameStop is successful. So we've got pre-orders, and then reward card subscriptions, used game sales, and game trade-ins. And they're all supposed to kind of go into each other, like pre-orders will go into... Actually, I don't understand how they form it here. Usually it's like pre-orders, and then it goes to game trade-ins, and then it goes to used game sales, and used game sales promote the card subscriptions, and so on and so forth. So they all kind of bleed into each other. And this is, like I said, this has been going on for a long time. So once again, I don't know why Kotaku's doing this. And so let's go ahead and get into, is GameStop lying to customers? And yes, they have been for a long time. But are they directly lying? I would say they're more misleading people than straight up lying. Now, it sounds like from the article, some GameStops are straight up lying to customers. And I guess I have had that experience in the past with a GameStop. My GameStop never straight up lied to anybody that I know of or I was there for. But I know there's a lot of shady GameStops out there. And it really depends on the management and the people that work there. So my experience is I went to a GameStop close by my house, and I was looking to buy a new game. It was Grand Theft Auto 5. It was on sale for 30 bucks. New, but used, it was $54.99. So I wanted to buy the new one, but they only had opened new copies, and I'm new copies. And they told me that I couldn't return this opened new copy even if I myself didn't open it. So if I didn't even play it or I decided I didn't want the game, they wouldn't let me return it. Now, first of all, that's not GameStop's policy. If they have an opened game, they usually put it in a little plastic slipcase. They'll close it up and they'll seal it with a little bit of glue. Or they'll use circle stickers and they'll put that on the side of the game to keep it closed. So if that circle sticker is broken, if that plastic wrap is opened, now it's been opened. And that's understandable. You can't return a new game. However, it isn't understandable that they're selling these new opened games as new, because they're not new at that point. I mean, employees are allowed to take home a new game, open it, and play it for 4 days and bring it back. That's not a new game anymore. That's used. But they're still going to sell it to you, the customer, as new and charge you that full $60 price tag, which is absolutely insane. Now, I do have a couple stories of shadiness. I'll probably just tell you one. If you guys want a longer video, I'll do that. But this is going to be kind of a short thing, just to kind of get into this article and the new, I don't know, random resurgence of GameStop hatred. I told a customer, so a customer came in, and they're looking for a game for their son. Now, they didn't know really what they're looking for, and the game they picked up and they're about to buy was Battleship. Now, this was based off that awful movie that came out, and we all know about movie games and how terrible they are. So I explained to her that usually movie games are a lower quality of type of game. It doesn't have multiplayer, the story isn't very good, and I directed her to buy a different game that is actually good. I don't remember the title off the top of my head, this was years ago, but long story short, I directed to another game that wasn't as expensive, still used, and she was happy, and she never came back to return it, but she did come back with her son and buy other stuff because she had a good experience. But as soon as she left, my manager pulled me aside and went, "You can't do that." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You can't just tell customers that a game isn't good." I'm like, "Well, then they're going to have a bad experience." So that was kind of one of my experiences with shadiness. Another one was, I saw on the Kotaku article that they would tell customers that all the new games were only for pre-orders. And sometimes we were told to do that as well. Now, this was only when we had like 3 or 4 that weren't pre-ordered, so it wasn't nearly as shady as what it sounds like in this article. but it's still not right to tell a customer that you don't have any copies when you do in fact have 3 or 4 extras. I think this was just kind of trying to drive in the fact that when they wanted people to pre-order, but let's face it, why would you ever buy a new game at GameStop anyway, honestly? There's no reason to buy a new game at GameStop. If you're going there, you just lost 20%. Because you go to Best Buy, who price matches and does 20% off with the Gamers Club Unlocked card. Why would you? I don't understand it. Plus, their reward system is just awful anyway. I don't know if you guys have done the point to dollar conversion. It's terrible. You spend maybe like $1,000 or something, you get $10 off. Or anyway, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about how much better Best Buy is. It is though. So let's see. Let's just kind of look into some of the things that GameStop is noted here in the Kotaku article. So when Kotaku contacted GameStop, you guys are going to see a little graphic here on the screen. Their corporate office sent over a statement, says all of GameStop's internal programs are designed to provide our customers the best value in all the video game purchases. Now, first of all, that's bullshit. That is completely bullshit. They don't give a fuck about you. GameStop just wants your money. And that's why every single time you go into GameStop, they pester the shit out of you to buy everything. They're like, hey, you want to pre-order 5 new games? Hey, you want to get that scratch protection on your DS game? Hey, you want to fucking get this card that saves you 10% off used games that are cheaper new somewhere else? And that's the reason I've stopped going, is because they really don't care about you. And I've noticed it seems like the employees really aren't that talkative. Once again, this is kind of my experience with local GameStop stores. Yours could be different. You could have a better manager. They could not mislead you. They could tell you games are, good or bad. So most of the problems with GameStop are by location based, but the problem is that corporate incentivizes this bad behavior. And they really do punish employees for being honest workers, because if you don't hit those numbers on pre-orders, reserves and pre-orders, the same thing, cards, pre-owned games, and trade-in, you get yelled at for like a week. So you have a week of hell. You have your district manager yelling at you. You've got your manager yelling at you, sub-managers yelling at you to get your numbers up. And then if you do get your numbers up or do very well, they don't even give you a pat on the back. They just say, you better keep doing this or we're going to keep yelling at you. And that is the GameStop environment. And that's why I hate that company. So that's my 2 cents on the topic. If you guys want more GameStop stories, I'm happy to oblige. Let me know in the comments section. And have a great day, guys.